All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to discuss Bitfarms, stock ticker BITF. They are a Bitcoin mining company. They put out their monthly operational report yesterday on the first of the month. There was a couple of important things in there, so I want to go through those things and kind of go through where Bitfarms is overall and where they may be going. So as always, if you're new to the channel or if you have not yet, please hit the subscribe button. And you can also hit the notification bell to get notified every time we make a video. Lastly, if you want to support the channel, you can hit the join button. There's a lot of members-only content ready and waiting for you if you want to become a member. So it's much appreciated to help support the channel. Okay, let's talk about Bitfarms. The trading day just ended as I'm making this video. So Bitfarms closed today at 92.61 cents. That leaves them at just over $200 million market cap. So Bitfarms has had two runs in a row where they had 5 or 6 days over the $1 threshold required by the NASDAQ, only to fall back under. This is now their 5th day in a row under $1. So down about 2.5% today. The Bitcoin miners have been drifting a little bit sideways, as has Bitcoin for the last, week or two. As always, for historical perspective, I like to look at the market cap of this company over the course of time. So the peak of this company, they were a $1.35 billion market cap in November of 2021. That is when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. So Bitfarms has lost over $1 billion in market cap, leaving them at only about $200 million right now. So with that in mind, let's take a look at their monthly report. Okay, March 1st, 2023. Bitfarms mines 387 Bitcoin in February, exceeding 20,000 Bitcoin. We'll talk more about what that means. This is Bitfarms Bitcoin mined by month for the last 14 months. So you'll see year over year, last February they did 298. This February they did 387. So that is a big improvement year over year. However, you'll see this is their lowest month in almost a year. So there's a couple of factors going on here, actually 3 factors. February obviously is the shortest month of the year, so that is typically their lowest month of the year. Number 2, based on the weather, February and March tend to be the months that they end up having to do some curtailment. And then number 3, the Bitcoin mining difficulty level went up significantly again in February of 2023. So that has continued to be on the rise. So adding all those things put together, Bitfarms production was down from 486 Bitcoin in January to 387 Bitcoin in February. So I would have expected a lower number. This is maybe even a little bit lower than I was expecting, but somewhere in the range of as expected. I would expect this to be the worst month of the year for 2023 as well, just like it was for 2022. So I would expect to see a jump in production in March of 2023 next month. Okay, they start out by saying deleveraging continues with indebtedness reduced by 86% in 9 months. So this is a critical part of their story. Okay, quote, "We are well positioned for growth in 2023 following our 2022 infrastructure investments, our reduction in cash burn, and our significant deleveraging that began last June." That's from the CEO of Bitfarms. Okay, "In strengthening our balance sheet, we increased our financial flexibility to pursue strategic growth opportunities that we believe are emerging as a result of persistent and challenging industry dynamics. In addition, with $22.4 million in credits for the purchase of miners and 40 megawatts of built capacity at our Argentina farm, as soon as miners can be imported there, we will require minimal capital outlay to bring on substantial additional production." So Bitfarms, like almost every single Bitcoin miner, did fall off of their plan in the year 2022. They had planned to be at 7.2 to 8 exahash by the end of the year. They're at 4.7 exahash right now, as we'll see later. With the credits that they have on the machines and the 40 megawatts already built out in Argentina, it's going to take them very little to get the next about 1.5 to 2 exahash online. And then we need to see what their plans are from there, because they do say they want to pursue strategic growth opportunities. So that's going to be very, very important. That's probably the main thing I'm going to be looking at for Bitfarms in the year 2023. In 2022, they had a problem with their balance sheet. Their debt got out of control. You're going to see they have fixed that problem. So now that that problem is fixed, I feel like they need to shift focus back onto growth and get back on their growth plan. Ben Gagnon, Chief Mining Officer at Bitfarms, said, "In February, we mined 387 Bitcoin, increasing production by 30% year over year, although lowering the average Bitcoin mined per day to 13.8 month over month. February production was primarily impacted by unseasonably cold weather in Quebec, as we curtailed over 10,000 megawatt hours during an already short month." So that's what we talked about. Additionally, network difficulty is up 21.7% year to date, following another 10% increase on February 24th. While this reflects rising confidence in the industry, it also emphasizes the advantage of Bitfarm being a low-cost producer. So that is to reiterate that they are definitely below the average cost per Bitcoin for energy. So it sounds like they're saying that trend has continued, so we'll see when their financial statements come out if they reflect that. Okay, over the last 9 months have reduced our debt 86% from a high of $165 million in June of 2022 to just $22.7 million at month end, and that would be 2/28/23. They've gotten rid of a lot of potential interest expense going forward. They've also gotten rid of a lot of debt service that they were going to have to pay on a monthly basis going forward. You can see this is a drastic reduction in their debt. It did balloon up to $165 million at the time. That did not seem like a problem with Bitcoin trading $50,000 or $60,000. But obviously things moved in the other direction quickly, and that did turn into a problem. So they had a cash flow problem. They have gotten through that problem and solved that problem. In order to do that, they basically had to sell the vast majority of the Bitcoin that they had in their hodl. Okay, so just some quick by the numbers. Bitcoin mined 387 in February versus 486 last month, and then 298 year over year from last February. So month-end operating exahash 4.7. That is the same as January, so they added no exahash. The next exahash that they're going to add, if I go to this slide from their investor package, you can see Rio Cuarto, Argentina. They've got an 8-year power agreement of up to 210 megawatts. Now, they have 10 that they're running. They have another 40 that are complete, ready to run. They just have to get the machines there to plug them in. And as to whether or not they're going to finish building out the 210 megawatts, that's going to be an important part of the growth strategy that I'm looking at. And we'll start to get a sense of what the cost is for their energy. They do say they have an 8-year power agreement. And you'll see this is behind the fence stranded natural gas. This represents the only Bitcoin mining that they do that is not hydro. So everything else that they do in Canada and elsewhere is all hydro. This will be natural gas, but it's stranded natural gas. Okay, so you can see operating capacity 188 megawatts, hydropower megawatts 178, and it's those 10 in Argentina that are now natural gas. Watts per terahash efficiency improved to 39 from 40 in January and from 43 last February. Total Bitcoin sold 387, so they continue to sell all the Bitcoin that they mine each month. This will leave them, I believe, with 405 Bitcoin on their balance sheet, which is roughly, give or take, about $10 million at its current value. Bitcoin per average exahash. You're going to see last month they were at 110. Bitfarms has always been one of the most efficient Bitcoin miners, so that number has always been among the highest. Everybody's numbers are a little bit lower in February so far. A big reason for that is the difficulty level, and obviously, again, with Bitfarms, they did have to do some self-curtailment due to severe weather, so that dropped down to about 91. I would expect that to get back up to 100 next month, but we'll have to wait and see, so that's another thing that I will be looking for. They were 110 last month. They're 91 this month. I expect 100 is probably going to be a good score in the month of March, just based on the difficulty level of the overall Bitcoin network. Okay, so they had talked about 20,000 Bitcoins, so they mined their 20,000th Bitcoin with renewable hydropower since 2017. So they have been doing this a long time. This is a company with a lot of experience doing this. This is one of the reasons they have a very high efficiency typically on a monthly basis, and they also have low energy costs. They are not new to this business, and most Bitcoin miners are relatively new. I mean, they've been around for 6 years, and that makes them one of the most established Bitcoin mining companies out there. Okay, improved efficiency of newly unencumbered Bitmain miners in Washington, 16% from 31 watts per terahash to 26 watts per terahash with new firmware. They now own their Washington facility free and clear. This is their most efficient mining that they have, and there was the potential that they were going to have to walk away from this. So that turnaround is huge in my opinion. Being able to keep this, they're getting more efficient, and it's now debt-free. Improved overall fleet efficiency to 39 watts per terahash. Okay, so if we just look at what everybody did last month, this is January's production. You'll see last month, Bitfarms was in 4th place here at 486. We still have to wait for some more results to come in from some other miners, but it looks to me like they're going to slip into 5th place because Cypher has now mined more, or a little bit more Bitcoin than they did this month. So I do think Cypher and Bitfarms will be competing all year and potentially trading back and forth. I do see them both as probably top 5 Bitcoin miners all year in 2023, but obviously there's a lot of year left. We just got started, so there may be some others that make a move, and we've yet to see how much Bitfarms is going to be able to capitalize on utilizing the infrastructure they've already built out. Okay, so if I look at Bitfarms on the 1-week time frame, you'll see that from their highs in November of 2021, which is well over a year ago, that's coming up on a year and a half ago now at this point, they're still down 90%. This is Bitfarms on the 1-day time frame. This basically covers the period of August 2022 through to the present day today. So the reason I'm measuring from August 2022, you'll see a green line here at about $2.33. The last time Bitcoin was at $25,000 was at this day in August of 2022. So recently Bitcoin has revisited the $25,000 mark. We are a little under that right now, trading between 23 and 24,000, but we did spend 5 days above 25,000. So you can see, even though Bitcoin is in the very same neighborhood that it was back in August of 2022, Bitfarms would still have to increase 151% just to get back to the same stock price they were back in August of 2022, the very last time Bitcoin was trading at around $25,000 per coin. I do think this is one of many Bitcoin miners that, from that perspective, is undervalued. I did see a couple of things I want to keep my eye on. They have massively corrected their debt situation. So back in August of 2022, they were very close to the period of time where they had $165 million of debt. That was the peak of their problem. They've now gotten rid of the vast majority of that. If Bitfarm can continue to operate the way they have been for the last year, almost all of their monthly operational reports have been positive in my opinion. As always, this is a risk-reward situation, so I like to look at the downside. If Bitcoin does not stay healthy and for some reason revisits its lows, Bitfarms would have to go down 59% just to get to its recent lows from just really about 2 months ago, 2 to 2.5 months ago. So there's a big swing on this to the upside and to the downside. So obviously not financial advice. Please be very careful trading Bitfarms and all the Bitcoin miners. So in summary, I think the thing to keep our eye on is their productivity going to go back up next month? Are they going to get these machines in Argentina online? And if so, are they going to be able to maintain their low cost of energy per Bitcoin? So that's kind of the picture that I'm looking at right now for Bitfarms. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.